23 years after the September 11th attacks on the World Trade Center, lawmakers in Albany are looking to provide compensation for first responders who now suffer from long-term 9/11 related illnesses.
12 News' Daniel Curran spoke with one former National Guard member to learn the importance of a proposed bill.
Homer native Patrick Kelly was deployed to the World Trade Center with the 204th Combat Engineers out of Horseheads days after the 9/11 attacks in 2001. He and his team spent 12 to 15 hours at the wreckage each day for 2 to 3 weeks.
We were shifted to guard duty, in the aftermath of that to, assist the NYPD so they could conduct their investigations and the firemen could more easily put out the fires that were still ongoing.
23 years later, Kelly says he and many others are still feeling the effects of spending that much time at Ground Zero.
I do have respiratory illnesses. I do have GERD issues. I have, some obstructive airway issues. I have the headaches that I deal with, and I believe that my Parkinson's disease that has come from there.
Now, help could soon be on the way. A bill proposed by Senator Leah Webb looks to provide workers' compensation to National Guard members that face health complications from responding to Ground Zero. Senator Webb says this bill would help local members who did not receive compensation at the federal level.
We continue to learn about those who were impacted on that day and their families. And so this is another way that we can continue to support those first responders that give so much to our communities every day. And so this bill is designed to do that.
Kelly believes this bill, if passed, would help him and other National Guard members address their illnesses in a way they choose to.
I believe that, the impact that it's going to make is the ability to choose the healthcare providers that you really want to, that you want.
The bill passed through the state Senate last session with bipartisan support. Kelly is hoping to see it signed into law next session. Daniel Curran, 12 News, Cortland County.